I'm Mick, and this is Sally. Together we've been caravanning Australia since the 1980s, and more recently we started to put the videos together just to show you some of what we see out there. There's a lot to see in Australia, and we hope you enjoy what we have here to show you. You can follow us on our trips via the following social media platforms. If you like the following video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. In part 2 of the River Murray floods, we leave Renmark where we overnighted and we head back to Berri and then on to Loxton before making our way to Waikerie. We say hello to a couple of friends there in Waikerie and have a quick look at Hogwash Bend that's now closed. And then we go on to Morgan and have a look at the eastern side of Morgan before going to Blanchetown and making our way back home. Along the way we'll stop in and have a look at Lock 5, and then we'll see this section of road here between Berri and Renmark. It's the road that goes down to the Ferry. It's all flooded on the sides, and then we have a bit of a look around Berri at all the flooded wetlands there. And then as we make our way from Berri to Loxton, we have a look at the water floods here, and that road will soon be closed apparently. And then at Loxton we go down to the Lions Park and have a look around the Caravan Park as well. And then finally we go to Kingston on the Murray and have a look at the bridge and the water flooded in the floodlands there. Lock 5 with the flow indicator board here now reading just over 100 megalitres a day. That's quite some substantial flow. With the water level in the Murray to increase quite substantially from where it is at the present time, it makes me wonder how these buildings are going to fare once the water starts to reach and start flooding into the buildings. I guess that's going to happen, but I guess time will tell. From Lock 5 we made our way over to the Pringa Bridge and in through Renmark. And as we headed to Berri, we actually missed the turn off to the Ferry road that takes you across the ferry there to get to Lirrup. So we did a quick U-turn and come back, and we're quite glad we did because it was quite a scene when we drove down off the side of the rise here as we headed down onto the road. All the backwaters and floodplains were full. It was very pretty to look at. Once again, it makes you wonder at the peak of this flood event that we're having now, how high the water will be up against the side of the road. This is one road I don't think I've heard any comment in the media yet that will be closed, so it will be interesting to have a look. The wind was starting to pick up again for the day, but I managed to get the drone up to a certain height before I got a wind warning. But doesn't this look magic when you're flying out across and you see it from up in the sky? It was only a short drive from the Sturt Highway down to the river here, and as you look at the top of the screen now you can see the river coming into view. As the drone flies now, we're moving away from the river and flying back towards the Sturt Highway. The Murray River National Park, which is between, well, it's in this area, I guess. I'm not quite sure where it does start, but it certainly runs from the Ferry road that we're on now, back along the Murray River, back towards Renmark. And when we're coming out of Renmark on the turn-off that takes you down to the National Park, the road was closed there. But to our surprise, it was open on this end, so obviously we must be on higher ground along this section of the river. So we took a quick drive down there to have a look. Some camping locations are still open, but for how long, I'm not sure. On our way through Berri, as we travelled towards Loxton, we went down to the Berri Riverfront and had a bit of a look there. And with the rising water, all the footpaths along the riverfront have now been closed off to the public. We're now heading from Berri to Loxton, and this road along here, according to all media reports, will be closed probably within the week of us being here on this day. So much water sitting on the countryside, nearly as far as the eye can see. It was a quick detour to go down to have a look at Lock 4, but unfortunately we couldn't drive right down to the lock because of the windstorm and the trees that were brought down the day before. The yard was shut and they were cleaning up all the trees and making it safe for everyone to venture down there. So we took a couple of drone shots, and it is certainly full. There's no doubt about that. Water straight over the top of the lock. It was now mid-morning as we travelled from Lock 4 into Loxton, and it was coffee time, so we pulled over, enjoyed a nice hot cup of coffee, and then made our way down to the flooded section around the riverbank of the Lions Park and the Caravan Park area. Loxton being no different from any other area along the river, there was just water everywhere. It was really was an awesome sight to see. We can only hope in years to come that when we look back on this flood event, that everyone that's affected by it has had the opportunity to rebuild to what they had before it all occurred. Now making our way down to the river from Loxton, and as we go down here, this one is the location of the boat ramp, etc. And as you go down along the riverfront on the turn towards the left, we won't be going there today because it was just too far away. They've got that tree of knowledge, which is quite common to be seen in a lot of social media, and it's got all the big flood reports and levels on the big gum tree. We have walked in there in years gone by on one of the recent floods, but too cold, too windy, and no time to do it today, so it's all done from the air. But as we're flying down here, you'll see a bit of water close the road off there, and then there's another section of asphalt, and that's the boat ramp on the side of the river. The next road that takes you down to the river on the Adelaide side of where we were just filming is the one that goes down to the Tree of Knowledge, and it also goes down to the lower part of the Caravan Park. Now, unfortunately, that lower Caravan Park area is all underwater, so it's not the first time we've seen it like that, but that's the way it is. They've still got the upper section Caravan Park that I believe they're at the moment taking bookings for, and there are caravans in there if ever you wanted to go up and have a look and stay overnight with the van. We're now making our way up to the buildings in the lower part of the Caravan Park, and as it swings around there you'll see the green roof. That's one of the amenities block that is totally surrounded by water. The upper section of the Caravan Park in view now. Now, how long that will take bookings for, I don't know, so if anyone wants to go up and experience what the river's like when it's flooded and you're going to take the van, it would certainly pay to ring and see if there's a booking available. As the water rises, they may even close that one off. Loxton, we made our way to Maruk. Now, we've done a bit of videoing here, but I don't really know what it's like here under normal pool level. Obviously it's not as high as what it is here now coming up under the shelters, but how much it is flooded compared to what it normally would be like, I cannot say. One or two seats still out of the water that you can sit on and view the river as it's rising, but no doubt in the next few days they'll probably be underwater as well. Maruk suffered badly with wind damage and trees down from the day before, and a lot of big trees fell down to the ground on that day. From Maruk, it was onto the Kingston area where we went to the Kingston Bridge and viewed the flooded plains there, and that was very, very pretty to look at. So much water laying on the ground, it's just hard to fathom how it's even possible for so much to fall out of the sky to do so much flooding. All of the water in the River Murray system goes under this bridge as it comes downstream, heading its way down to the Murray mouth. From the Kingston Bridge area, we made our way to Waikerie, and there we visited some friends that were living on a houseboat there. And then we made our way down to Hogwash Bend. Now, Hogwash Bend is one of our most favourite camping locations along the River Murray, but of course as the Murray's in flood as it is now, the road's closed and you cannot get down there. All of the area that we're flying over now, as we go down the road to take the path to get down to the camping area at Hogwash Bend, both sides of this road would normally be dry. There'd be no water there at all. As the drone elevates up into the sky, very shortly on the top left hand side of the horizon you'll see it coming into view, and there it is now. That's the river system, or the main channel of the river as it goes through, and we didn't quite go down there that far with the drone, it was just too windy. And here it is now in December 2021 when it was dry and we're on our way down there for a camping weekend. And of course all this is now underwater except for these rises that we're cresting up over and going down the other side now as we go into the bank of the Murray. There's a bend in the main River Murray channel as we look downstream towards Morgan, and now looking upstream back towards Waikerie. I was very careful on this trip with the drone to make sure that I didn't hit a tree and drop it into the water, so here I am now carrying the drone for the last time on our way home. On our way back to Blanchetown from Hogwash Bend, we did a quick detour here and went in towards the ferry at Morgan. And like so many other roads up in the Riverland at the moment, water up to both sides of the road everywhere you look. When we left the Morgan area to make our way back to Blanchetown, it was just too windy to even stand up and take any hand footage with a camera of any kind, so it wasn't until we got back to Blanchetown that we ventured outside the vehicle again and took a bit of footage and had a look at Lock 1. The 1956 flood level marker on one of the buildings here at Lock 1 at Blanchetown, and it is extremely high level up compared to the water is at the moment, so it would be a very frightening sight, I think, to see it flooded up to that height. To see the flow indicator chart here recording just over 40 megalitres a day in river flow made us wonder whether there was an error in the board and the way it was set up. After leaving Blanchetown, the wind stayed up, it just didn't let up all the way home, and we went through a couple of storms, a bit of rain, and eventually got home without too many issues. If you like the video that you just watched, give us a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of our videos, click on the subscribe button, and once you've done that, change the bell notification to all. That way every time that we do uploads to our YouTube channel, you'll be notified.